Live from the SoCap Comedy Theater in beautiful downtown Toronto, it's End of Scotch Eggs Comedy Game Showdown. Please welcome your host, Dan Donnelly.
Hello, and welcome everybody to Comedy Game Showdown. I will be your host tonight, Dan Donnelly. How are we feeling? Good, excellent. Thank you all for coming out to our new time slot here on the second Tuesday of the month at 8 p.m. at the Social Capital Theater for those of you listening online later. So as you can see from the slide tonight, our theme tonight is called Applied Phlebotinum, which is from a TV tropes page, but it's all about sci-fi and fantasy. Are you guys sci-fi and fantasy fans? Yes, excellent. Nerds after my own heart. But sci-fi and fantasy are more than just escapism. They allow us to explore strange and distant worlds while still holding a mirror to our own, allowing us a safe space to think about our own society and ourselves. For example, H.G. Wells' The Time Machine poses a timely warning to the upper class that maybe they should be a little more serious about those eat the rich guys. And Marion Zimmer Bradley's The Mists of Avalon poses the important question, what if Arthurian legend wasn't just about the men? And also, what if Maria Gimbutas's theory of matriarchal prehistory wasn't pseudoscientific neo-pagan Earth Mother claptrap? But science fiction and fantasy don't just show us important things about our society, they show us important things about ourselves. For example, it's through sci-fi characters like Spock and Data's brother Lore that we learn what it really means to be human. And it's through fantasy characters like Atreyu that I discovered at the tender age of 12 that I'm homosexual. Did anybody else have a visceral, irrational hatred for Princess Eleven, or was it just me? Was it just my sublimated jealousy that she had the cute boy's attention? Or is she legit? I don't know. We'll have to watch it again. All right, guys, are you ready for your show? Excellent. We have a great one for you tonight, but first we have a brief word from our sponsor, Fantasy Racism. Does the fictional world under your complete authorial control feel like it doesn't quite reflect enough of the worst things about the real world your audience is desperately trying to escape? Well, then Fantasy Racism might be for you. Weigh in on a social problem you probably don't have a personal connection to, but it's okay, because mudbloods aren't a real-life protected group. And there's no one-to-one correspondence between fantasy races and real-world ethnicities, except for dwarves who everyone agrees are Scottish for some reason. So don't worry. I'm sure your diminutive, hook-nosed, avaricious, and untrustworthy race of bankers will have no unfortunate implications whatsoever. Fantasy racism. Drow may not be inherently evil anymore, but that doesn't mean you can't be. Fantasy racism. All right, are you guys ready for your show for real? Excellent. I'm going to bring up your two teams of contestants. First up, we have the Hobbits. Please welcome Nikki Ashworth, Dan Brennan, and Keegan Hawkeswood. And up against the Hobbits, we have their mortal enemies, the Space Marines. Please welcome Andrew Lizotte, Joey Crewe, and Isabel Zaw-Tun. All right, we're just gonna take a quick second to get everything. All right, are you guys ready? Hell yeah. On the stage? Yes, are you guys ready? Excellent. We are gonna get our show started with a pop quiz. The first question, the category is genre reveal party. What trailblazing book has been called both the first horror novel and also the first true work of science fiction? Yes, Nikki.
The Bible? Is that too soon?
Well, it certainly has a lot of aliens in it, at least according to the History Channel documentary that YouTube recommended me in between 6 Jordan Peterson videos. Yes, Andrew.
A woman's brain is the same size as a man's, and other disturbing tales.
Alas, the whole tragic tale could have been avoided if only Dr. Murray had known the difference between a normal and abnormal distribution. That's a little insidery. Yes, Keegan.
Are you there, God? It's me, Isaac Asimov.
Unfortunately, it doesn't count as science fiction. The powers that be in science fiction in the 70s thought that a realistic female character with an internal monologue was not hard science fiction. Yeah, too unrealistic. Yeah. Andrew.
L. Ron Hubbard's So You're Full of Ghosts, Your Body and You.
I think I saw that in middle school health. Yes, Nikki.
Eat, Pray, Time Lord.
Yes, Dan.
It's in fact the art of the deal, and that's a quote from Trump himself.
All right. Yes, Andrew.
Stanley Kubrick's Goodnight Moon Landing.
I like that when it was a pop-up. Go ahead, one more.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's Space Bikini Jam Party.
Aw. I have to say that does sound like a work of horror. Has anyone seen Neil deGrasse Tyson in a bikini? All right.
Rather not.
Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
Mary Shelley's Frankenberry.
No, not quite, sorry. Yes.
Mary Shelley's Frankenfurter.
No.
Mary Shelley's Frankenbeans.
You're getting close.
Mary Shelley's Frankenphone.
No. Popular in Quebec.
Mary Shelley's Franklin Mint's limited edition plates.
No. But she would have been horrified to find out that the whole lot of them sold for $8 at her estate sale. All right. Thank you, guys. The real answer is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I don't know if you guys... I don't know if you guys saw the popular adaptation Poor Things, which was my favorite movie at the Oscars this year. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. The category is Moroli Helmanna. By the way, I made the effort for this.
No one would have known the difference.
After filming the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the 9 lead actors who comprised the Fellowship of the Ring all got matching tattoos to commemorate the experience. What was their tattoo's design? Yes, Isabel.
Okay, so they wanted the word fellowship, but because it was the 2000s, they wanted a Chinese character. And then, okay, they were all like the most famous movie stars in the world at the time, so they were kind of dicks to the tattoo artist. And so, long story short, they all got the word diarrhea in Mandarin.
Yeah. You know, fun fact, the second character in the word for diarrhea can also mean hesitate, which is exactly what you should do if you ever think about getting a tattoo in a language you don't understand. Are there any Chinese speakers in the room? No, so you can't verify it, but it's true. I promise. Anything I reveal in this, we do true facts on this show. Anybody else? Yes, Andrew.
A tramp stamp that reads, "Speak friend and enter."
Ooh, sexy. I guess that is nicer than "You shall not pass," which is more Christian fellowship of the purity ring. Yeah, Keegan.
A wicked full-back tattoo of Gandalf riding the Balrog, smoking his pipe, holding the machine gun.
Oh, I thought Elijah Wood was just a Mortal Kombat fan. It was a different Balrog. Yeah.
He's very close. It's Gandalf the White, just in case they all end up in a prison gang.
Yeah.
Because of the crime spree they committed across New Zealand while filming the movies.
If you commit crimes in New Zealand, do they send you to Australia? Is that what happens? Yes, Nikki.
The Lion, the Rose, and the Pocket Watch. But that's actually the wrong franchise there.
It sounds like
and
a
also
Yale
the
secret
most
society.
popular tattoos of 2022.
Oh, were they? Oh, that's sad. All right. Good. I think we're done with that. So the real answer is they had the word 9 in Elvish, but actually they just wrote the letters Nine in Elvish script, which, by the way, is called Tengwar, and it's used to write Quenya, which is what the thing is at the beginning. I did the grammar and everything. Meanwhile, they just have Nine on their arms.
Wait, so you're saying that there are no, like, Tolkien never came up with a number system?
No,
for
they
Elvish,
just
elves
didn't do it
can't
right.
Count?
They just spelled it. They just spelled 9 in English phonetically, but wrong.
I mean, it sounds like they tried a lot, just in the wrong direction.
Yeah. It is very aesthetically pleasing. It's symmetrical, but anyway, just so you guys know, Peter Jackson also got his own tattoo of the number 10 on his own because he wasn't included.
That's sad.
And John Rhys Davies had his stuntman get the tattoo for him. That's not a joke. His stuntman got the tattoo and he didn't. He was afraid he would get mad cow disease.
I do think
from the needle.
I think it's worth pointing out too that Elijah Wood got the sluttiest version of that tattoo. He
Yes.
got it like just
cum
above his
gutter.
crotch.
Yeah.
Yeah, right in the cum gutters,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. Good for him.
I was pleased that I got to see a picture of it while I was researching
we all
this.
were.
All right. We're going to move on to the next question. The category is planetary commotion. The 1956 blockbuster Forbidden Planet was the first big-budget sci-fi film produced by a major studio. What famous play served as the source material? Yes, Dan.
Was it Annie Get Your Ray Gun?
No, but I like that, even if they didn't. Yes, Andrew.
Cthulhu on a hot tin roof.
I like that one, too, and I didn't even write it. Yes, Joey.
A Raisin on the Sun.
Reason on the sun. Yes, Keegan.
Sundays in the Park with Jorgon 5. Thank you.
Yeah. Andrew.
Glenn Mork, Glenn Mindy.
I don't know how they got away with that in the 50s. Like, every other word in that play is Shazbat. Mork and Mindy fans in the audience. Yes, Nikki.
Was it that play you wrote when you were 14, when your parents loved you so much, they said you were very talented and headed for stardom? That, like me?
No. Incredibly, my erotic fan sequel to Little Shop of Horrors was never produced.
What was it called? I mean, there was an eclipse yesterday.
Yeah. Breed Me, Seymour is
Gross.
the title. Yeah, it was pretty gross. It was pretty gross. And a lot of fluids. Anyone else?
Antigone.
Antigone.
It's not a pun. It's just how fucked up would that be, right?
Yeah, it really is. It actually has some similarities to Antigone. Anyone else?
Fiddler on the Spaceship Roof.
There's not a lot of air out there, but I guess you don't need it for the fiddle. Yeah, Dan.
I'm old. I can't remember the name of it, but I know that it was written by George McFly, Marty McFly's father, after he was visited by an alien in a yellow spacesuit.
Spaceman from Pluto, which was the original title of Back to the Future. That was a trivia question on this show, actually.
We're learning things every day.
Go watch that episode. I think it was Revenge of the Nerds. All right. So that's enough of that. The real answer is Shakespeare's The Tempest. Shakespeare's The Tempest. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. The category is metempsychotic perfusion. In the Legend of Zelda series, Princess Zelda is said to be the reincarnation of what important figure?
Guy Fieri. She didn't know her true destiny was in the flames.
I like that you said Fieri in an Italian way. I have never met anyone who eats less like an Italian than Guy Fieri. Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, and he's got some questions.
Yeah, he would, I think. Mainly, what am I doing here? I thought I was on Star Trek. Andrew.
I refuse to ask because I know Navi won't shut up about it. Just, hey.
Hey, listen. Thank you. Nikki.
Okay, so it was actually Link because he's been trying to save himself the whole time, but he refuses to see a therapist. Typical Hylian, am I right?
Yeah. It sounds like the plot of the movie within the movie, an adaptation. But the truth is that Zelda is like the Tyler Durden of Hyrule. She only exists in Link's mind. She's an excuse for him to like have the courage to pick up a sword, beat up some moblins, and falsely imprison fairies against their will. Real hero. Yeah.
Okay, so take it with a grain of salt because our source for this is Zelda herself after she went to a sidekick.
Believe women.
So she claims it's Cleopatra. Right? Like, okay, girl.
Oh my God, she's such a Virgo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right. Is that right? All right. So the real answer is, of course, Zelda Fitzgerald, which is why she calls every fairy in Hyrule Hemingway. As it's her cute little nickname for them. That is a really deep cut. Zelda Fitzgerald hated Ernest Hemingway and was convinced that he was a homosexual. So she did one thing right. So the actual answer is Hylia, the goddess of light. Yeah. I don't know if that's spoilers for Zelda.
It's old.
The next question, Aerith dies. The next question,
How dare you? That only came out 25 years ago.
and 2 months ago. The category is Ender's Game. In the series finale of Star Trek The Next Generation, Captain Jean-Luc Picard finally joins his officers in one of their favorite games. What game do they play? Yes, Keegan.
Soggy biscuit.
Data really loves to prove that he's fully functional, doesn't he?
I like when he proves that too.
Yeah. So did Tasha Yar. Yes, Andrew.
Never Have I Ever, and Riker dies of liver poisoning.
Yeah. From Synthahol. That's how much Riker has to drink. It's not even real booze. Nikki.
Borg or no Borg with Howie Mandel.
It's funny, on Borg or no Borg, the banker always calls in with the same offer. You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. It's best to take it, honestly. Yeah, Isabel.
Okay, so they played Spin the Bottle.
Yeah.
And fans actually went so wild for the steamy Spock Picard kiss that the network pulled it because the slash fiction was just too, they couldn't handle it. And so now there's actually no evidence that Spock and Picard were even on the same series.
Except, actually, I'll have you know that in season 5, episodes 7 and 8, Unification, Spock has secretly infiltrated the Romulan homeworld in order to spread a peace movement secretly in collaboration with the senator that he's been cooperating with for over 30 years. Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't listen to the rest of that question. I'm too busy being
And
a person
Picard
who
has to
gets
tell
laid.
Picard has to tell Spock that his father died and they do a mind meld. Okay. Thank you. So the real answer, of course, is Monopoly. But since it's Star Trek, there's no money or rent, and houses are free. So they just kind of go on little excursions around the board and draw fun little adventure anecdotes from Community Chest.
Which
I
is
thought that was
actually
funny.
the original, how Monopoly was originally intended to be.
Yes, anti-Monopoly, yeah. The real answer is poker. Poker.
Yeah, it was a socialist game.
I forget who wins that game. Probably Data. He did learn to lie. All right, that's it for the first cop quiz. Give your panelists a hand. We're going to move on to the next section of our game, which is Meet Your Contestants. I'll introduce you to the folks up here on stage, to all of our detriment. First up, we have the Hobbits. Nikki Ashworth is a robot from Planet Danger. She can put her arm back on. You can't. Play safe. And if you don't get that reference, congratulations, you're probably too young to have been scarred for life by the golden age of 1980s Canadian safety PSAs. Nikki, so are you a cyborg or...
Okay, so I don't think I have any mechanical elements, but if I do, I should probably be returned to Best Buy to see if I'm under warranty because I'm clearly defective. Like, it's probably from that time I submerged myself in water. I thought the rice would help, but let's just say I have regrets and too much rice.
Yeah. It would take a lot of rice, wouldn't it? It's like if you get sprayed by a skunk. Yeah, it's like an oatmeal bath except rice. That's fun. All right, give a hand to Nikki, everybody. Up next among the Hobbits, Dan Brennan is a firm believer that time travel is already possible and that scientists released the movie The Time Traveler's Wife just to make us hate time travel and throw us off the scent. Dan, I understand you're old enough to remember sci-fi when it was still just fi.
Well, first of all, that's ageist, as the kids say. And that's correct, Dan. When I grew up, we only had fi, fo, fi, and fum. And then Atari came along, and it caused a great schism. And two groups emerged. One, you came known as the gamers, people who embraced this new technology. And the other group were the Amish.
Yeah.
That's true history. Don't be laughing at that. All right.
Which of those two groups moved to Avignon and which stayed in Rome?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I don't get the reference.
Something to look up is the papal schisms in the 14th century. I'm glad someone liked it, though. All right, give it up for Dan Brennan, everybody. And last among the Hobbits, a lifelong fan of science fiction, Keegan Hawkeswood has always had trouble deciding which Star franchise is the best. Until now. Could it be Star Wars, Stargate, Battlestar, Star Trek? Nerds can fight it out, but Keegan has the definitive answer once and for all. All right, Keegan, which Star franchise is the best?
So I've thought long and hard about this, and actually it might surprise some people because I actively work on one of these Star franchises. And I'm not saying it's that one, because it's not. The real answer is the Star Booty franchise by RuPaul. It features drag queens, there's organ-stealing prostitutes, there's karate. What else could you ask for in a Star franchise? Not a single actual star to be seen, but it's still the best.
I could tell
Are
you
you
what
saying
we...
that Raja is not a star?
Okay, wait a minute. Now we gotta do some real RuPaul
Are you
math
saying
here.
Alexis Mateo
no, you are
is not
confusing
a
RuPaul's
Puerto
Drag Race
Rican
with Star
star?
Booty.
All right, that is the first appearance of the Shut the Fuck Up horn, which tells you guys to shut the fuck up. I will tell you what we could ask from a RuPaul Star franchise, though, and that is that not being a giant fracker, I think. Unless you're in Firefly, in which case, no. Battlestar Galactica is fracking. Never mind. Oh well, screwed that one up. Give it up for Keegan, everybody. And up against the Hobbits, their mortal enemies, the Space Marines. As a child, Andrew Lizotte was sucked inside a magical book that only released him upon the completion of a mythic quest. Andrew, what book were you trapped inside?
Well, it was the 80s, so it was Ayn Rand's Bedtime Stories for Good Little Capitalist Individuals.
Oh. Do you think that living in that book made you more conservative?
Great question, Dan.
I'm known for that.
Not at all. I'm just deeply afraid of books. I was trapped inside a book well into my 20s. I watched my best friend, a talking horse, drown in an enchanted river that was also a manifestation of his own unprocessed trauma. So excuse me if I don't believe in government handouts for things like libraries and public schools that use my tax dollars to put books in the hands of innocent children. Never again, Dan. Never again.
You guys didn't know you came to a town meeting, did you? Look, Andrew, I will agree with you. Actually, I think we're better off giving all alienated teenagers like an assault rifle instead of a copy of a book where the last 200 pages is just an author screed about how the heroic thing to do is to blow up subsidized housing for poor people. I mean, we will get a few school shootings here and there, but all the survivors get to go to Harvard. So
It's important to point out that Dan is American.
Yeah. No, I think it's a fair trade.
That's right, Dan. The real enemy is knowledge.
The survivors who aren't Asian will get into Harvard. That's not my policy. All right, give it up for Andrew, everyone. Next up among the Space Marines, Joey Crewe is what you get when two slimes from Dragon Quest morph together using the power of God and anime. Specifically on their side. I'm glad you specified the position. Yeah. Joey, how has taming that power been for your mental health?
Well, considering today I just started my first session of therapy, I would say it's been a nightmare. I thought anime and God would be a lot stronger of a power, but apparently the church lied to me.
Yeah. We need to get you an assault rifle. I think you haven't aged out yet.
The church does lie about anime.
Yeah, Witch Hunter Robin is a documentary, and they tried to suppress it. Any Witch Hunter Robin fans? Okay. Thank you. Give it up for Joey, everybody. And last among the Space Marines, Isabel Zaw-Tun is an entertainer, writer, and G-type star who has been described as hot and brilliant by her fans and potentially damaging if observed directly by her less enthusiastic fans. As well as the worst milk monitor St. Mary's Elementary ever had, you fucking bitch disgrace, by her second grade teacher. Is that true?
Yeah, I was a really bad milk monitor. And also, I went to school in northern Canada. The teachers there are not great.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Though the town referred to her as a screamer.
Oh, no.
The town.
The town. All right. Well, give it up for Isabel and not her second grade teacher. And that is it for Meet the Contestants. We're going to move on to the next section of our game, which is called What the Hell is This? And What the Hell is This? We show our panelists a series of weird and wonderful images and ask them the eternal question, what the hell is this? All right, are you guys ready for your first weird and wonderful image?
Yeah.
All right. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this? Yes, Andrew.
Hentai Kermit the Frog.
That is very accurate. Yeah. Dan.
That's the Jolly Green Giant's deadbeat dad getting a blowjob.
From Sprout, unfortunately. Nobody remembers Sprout? Okay. Go ahead, Joey.
This is unfortunately me anytime I see any pet on the street.
Nikki.
Willem Dafoe without makeup.
This is anytime I see somebody doing something that I know they're absolutely not supposed to do, I say, no, with the biggest smile on my face ever.
Me after a dentist appointment being told that for the 41st consecutive year, I've never had a cavity.
All right. Congratulations.
I like this I like it.
I'll do one. This is Atreyu if they'd made him green like the book. Did you guys know? They actually tried the makeup. They said it looked very bad. Anyone else before we move on? Yeah.
This is me after my family tells me to smile naturally for the family photo.
I can see you working on that chin strap, actually. Yeah. I think it'll be good. All right. Thanks, everybody. So this is Ganondorf in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and he is laughing maniacally about something. I haven't played it. I don't know what.
It's a spoiler. He kills somebody.
Oh, the villain kills somebody? I will tell you guys that I spent like an hour trying to find a clip of this that didn't look like ass, and then I realized that's just what the game looks like. But speaking of disconcerting smiles, this one takes the cake. I just saw this recently. This is Jill and Clive in Final Fantasy 16. Look at her uncanny...
This is the newest one?
Yeah, that uncanny, disturbing, rubber-faced smile brings him joy. And then they fuck on the beach and she gives him all her powers.
Surely the load he left on her face is what's bringing him joy. Am I the only one seeing? What?
All right.
What was the Final Fantasy?
I think it was this. All right. We're going to move on to the next one. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this?
And you're ready. It's my job.
Yeah, Dan.
That's the fucking guy who's coming to take my job in about 3 weeks' time.
He does look a little like you. Yeah, Isabel.
That's the star booty that, according to this guy,
I knew it was going to
is the best the Star franchise.
I'm waiting for the karate, I think. Yeah, Nikki.
This is the sad truth of how ice is really made.
For a minute, I thought you said how ISIS is really made. Ice, yeah.
This is a new clip from that really bad Wizard of Oz horror reboot.
This is the dentist everyone else goes to.
He's just made of that, like, filling alloy. Yeah, Joey.
This is the T1000 done practically.
I wish we could do sound on these.
Oh my God.
It'll be in the online version.
That's got to be the closest we're ever going to get to see boobs on this show, eh?
No, we've seen... Actually, have we? No, we've seen Kamayada naked, but not boobs. Any Danganronpa fans? All right. So this is Box the Robot from Logan's Run in 1976. Box is a robot who is designed to capture food from outside the city and bring it in, but unfortunately food also includes runners, like Logan and Jessica, who are trying to escape because, Logan turns 30, right? That's what happens because the city is a paradise.
That's a 30-year-old man there?
That was a 30-year-old man in 1976, yeah.
when cigarettes
That was a
were
20-year-old
healthy.
man in 1976, honestly.
Sunscreen didn't exist yet.
All right. So we're going to move on to the next one, panelists. I ask you, what the hell is this?
Roll's not coming off.
Yeah, Nikki.
Me when I was 12 and me now.
I like your fashion sense is improved, I think. Go, Andrew.
A turf propaganda video by J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, Dan.
This is proof that there is a ton of downtime when you're filming a major motion picture.
Keegan.
This is proof that Daniel Radcliffe can do anything and I'll be attracted to him.
I don't think this one's that much of a stretch, honestly, but Isabel.
This is me panicking in a change room.
This is a rare scene of Daniel's bra handler, who you'll see on the left-hand side. Very rare footage. His name is Monochrome.
This is just your average backstage at a drag show.
Yeah. Daniel Radcliffe is there.
I was gonna say this is just any straight guy trying to take off a bra.
Yeah.
Nope, sorry, bra's not coming off.
The smile on Dan Radcliffe's face when he says it, though, is every gay man with relief when he can't get the bra off.
Oh, so yeah, go ahead.
This is just men testing the new hook
Yeah.
on the bra.
Yeah, yeah. I had one and it flew out of my mind. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, and it's still not coming to mind. Oh, well. Oh, yes, this is the sequel to Equus, Mare. There we go. So this is behind the scenes from the Flight of the Seven Potters scene in Deathly Hallows Part 1 because everyone drinks Polyjuice Potion, and so Dan Radcliffe has to play all of the different characters getting ready to dress like him and impersonate him. And he said, this is like a DVD extra feature, and he said in this right after that wearing women's clothing is like his favorite part of this whole experience, and that he thinks he looks really good in it, and all I can say is, fuck you, J.K. Rowling. So there. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. Panelists, what the hell is this? Yes, Andrew.
Me psyching myself up for a phone call from my mother.
Isabel.
This is just how white people dance.
Oh, man. The dance after this really is.
This is me trying to not psych myself out of every answer.
If you need, I can do it for you. Yes, Andrew.
This is me after my brother accidentally calls his girlfriend mommy at family dinner.
Ooh.
Wait, did that really happen?
After the show.
This is actually an OnlyFans channel. It's $12.99 a month to watch this all the time.
Yes, Keegan.
This is me trying to stay awake at my niece's music recital.
Oh. Nikki.
This is how they practice hand-eye coordination in the year 3000.
Andrew.
This is just how William Shatner tests his wig glue.
Shatner's bald? What? No.
This is Shatner testing to see if he can still feel his face after all the Botox.
Go ahead.
This is William Shatner slapping himself silly because he can't believe that in 60 plus years he's actually going to be in outer space.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Ugh. Why didn't they send Patrick Stewart to outer space?
Because we like him.
I guess there is a lot of risk involved. We couldn't afford to lose him. Without Shatner, we just have to rename the McGill Student Center. Yes, Joey.
This is actually for the other Dan. So is the OnlyFans like a live stream or is it just multiple videos?
You subscribe. You just go.
It's a concept, man. You just subscribe to it.
This guy don't know it.
This show has finally hit on Dan's area of expertise. All right. Is that all? Okay.
This is just a ghost playing a good old prank.
Kinda. All right, so that's enough. This is a short snippet from the original Star Trek, the original series. Season 3, Episode 10, Plato's Stepchildren, where the crew encounters people who used to be followers of Plato thousands of years ago, and one of them has mind powers that he can force them to do things. This episode is better known for the Kirk and Uhura kiss, which happens while they're mind controlled. That's the official excuse. But Spock also does a nice little flamenco dance around Kirk's head. It's worth watching those two little bits. So we're going to move on to the next one. Panelists, what the hell is this?
You're trapped in a Dutch oven.
A PSA for reusable bags.
Yeah, Nikki.
This is the point of view of freezer burn.
This is the raw chicken I'm sous videing later.
You get it right to room temperature. Perfect.
This is clearly murder. Can someone call the cops?
You think it's realistic enough to be murder?
This is why we're banning plastic, people.
Yeah.
This is what it used to be like before they legalized weed.
You got to keep your parents from smelling it.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? Would you like to?
I can only think that this is one of those 80s Canadian safety PSAs to keep plastic bags away from small children. Yeah, Nikki.
This is a man from the 70s discovering he's 29 years old.
Put me out of my misery. Okay, I'll do one more. This is medical assistance in dying if you're blonde.
He's not a natural blonde. Come on.
All right, so that's enough of that. So this is a short clip from a movie called The Clonus Horror, which was inspired by Logan's Run, we'll put it that way. So the plot of The Clonus Horror is that clones are being raised on a secret compound in the desert so that they can be harvested as spare parts for influential people in the United States, so that they're graduated out when they're needed, and then they're frozen and their organs are distributed. Notable because they sued the makers of the Michael Bay movie The Island in 2005 for having the exact same plot, and they had to settle out of court. They do have a slightly lower IMDb rating than the Michael Bay version.
Wait, what?
But the movie also cost 100 times less to make. So
what's the publication date for Never Let Me Go?
I don't know.
That's also a novel with the exact same plot.
Yeah.
I want to know where it falls.
So this movie is also notable for starring my uncle, Tim Donnelly, who is an actor in the 70s. Actually,
him?
Yeah. No, this is not him. He plays the hero. This is someone who dies early on in the movie. When I was 14, this movie was on Mystery Science Theater 3000, and I said to my mom, hey, should we call Uncle Tim and tell him that his movie's on TV? And she said, no, I don't think so.
I gotta say, this is the only clip I'm glad doesn't have audio because it's just screaming.
The scream is pretty funny, though.
I'm impressed that he continues to scream after he clearly flatlines.
Yeah. That is very good.
Now I do kind of want to see the Michael Bay version that's like 100 lens flares and an explosion in the background of this.
Once they're ziplocked, then they explode.
Yeah. All right. So that's all for the Clonus Horror. Thank you, Uncle Tim. We're going to move on to the last bizarre image of the night. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this? Yep.
Something catfishing.
Yeah.
Is this a Gwyneth Paltrow goop ad for something?
No, then you have to shove the ring in your vagina for it to work. But the rejuvenation is incredible. Yeah, Nikki.
This is a home video of me as a kid.
Aw. Wait, which one is you? Yeah.
This is Queer Eye for the Troll Guy.
This is just me in and out of drag.
Yeah.
This is the only way I'd feel confident enough to go to a Taylor Swift concert.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this like a really old Green Lantern movie?
The power is sufficiently lame, but no. All right, so I will tell you guys what this is. This is a clip from the beginning of the movie Troll, which came out in 1986. And the plot of the movie Troll is a man named Harry Potter and his family move into a San Francisco apartment building, which is slowly being taken over by a troll who possesses Harry Potter's daughter with a magic ring. Also, there is a witch. Also, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in this movie doing a naked dance around an apartment that's been filled with jungle vegetation.
Why couldn't that be one of the clips?
So there is a Harry Potter 9?
And I will tell you why I know about this movie. It's because Harry Potter Jr. is played by Noah Hathaway, Atreyu, and he gets a lot of shirtless time in this movie. So
I thought you were going to say.
I also liked it as a kid.
I thought you were going to say, and Harry Potter Jr. is played by, that's right, my uncle.
Yeah, I was expecting another Tim Donnelly cameo.
No, I had a joke for that, but I forget. Okay. So, I recommend you all, well, really, it's worth watching. We'll put it that way. All right, so that was it for What the Hell Is This? Please give your panelists a hand. We are going to move on to the next section of our game, which is another pop quiz. The first question, the category is, are vampires are different? In the erotically charged Mormon vamp fantasy series Twilight, what game are the sparkly Cullen clan able to play outside so long as the weather is overcast? Yes, Keegan.
It's gotta be Soggy Biscuit this time.
Soggy Biscuit again. Sorry, you're thinking of the fan fiction 50 Shades of White.
Yeah. Is that a regional thing? Did anyone else say Soggy Biscuit? Because growing up, it was always Limp Biscuit.
Yeah. I mean, same ending.
You want to have a
similar taste,
chat about regional dialects for after the show, maybe. It's the same game that all vampires play at night, which is Drain the Human.
Yeah.
Also Soggy Biscuit.
Yeah, Keegan already said Soggy Biscuit. That's the same. That's
Soggy
the same
human.
answer. Apparently, Americans call it Ookie Cookie. Is that a thing that exists here? Yeah. Okay, you've heard that one too.
Americans,
That is
like you're not one of them.
way less classy, and it's the thing you do in boarding school. Do Americans even have those? Yes, of course. That's where Harvard gets everyone.
Why didn't I go to boarding school?
I know. I don't have time for that anecdote. Okay, once I was in the UK and I was watching a Channel 4 documentary on sex in Britain, and they interviewed this really old, tottering, like Oxford Don guy, and they were like, "What age were you when you lost your virginity?" And he said, 14. Oh, with a girl, 21. And that is everything you need to know about boarding school. All right, go ahead.
All right. So first, they pretended that the main characters were dating, and then they pretended that the girl cheated with the director, but the girl was pretending that she was straight the whole time.
Oh my God.
That was the game?
An Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah.
So, to appeal to their fan base, which was 100% horny Mormon girls, all the male vampires just took off their shirts and stood in front of a wind machine.
So it's like our version of Baywatch, except the ocean is absorbed by the theater seats.
It was like Top Gun, but for girls.
Top Gun for girls. Are there as many, but Mormons and not Scientologists?
They write collaborative fan fiction, which ultimately becomes 50 Shades of Grey.
All right. I didn't know that was a group. Well, I guess I did know that was a group effort. Yes.
Is it Quidditch, or is that the wrong franchise?
That is the wrong franchise, but honestly, shirtless Quidditch would be an improvement. But then Harry would have to take off his bra. All right.
Come back to us, Dan.
Yeah. No. Anybody else have an answer for this before we move on? All right. So the real answer is baseball. They play baseball. There you go. Has anyone seen ContraPoint's 3-hour opus on Twilight yet? Yes? All right. So we've... All that can be said about Twilight has been said. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. The category is Believe It or Not. In the sci-fi horror classic Alien, what did director Sir Ridley Scott initially plan for the ending? Yes, Andrew.
Ripley and the alien drive a convertible off the Grand Canyon.
Oh my God, for the last time, they are not the same actress. Gina Davis is like a foot taller than the xenomorph.
I'm IMDb'ing it, Dan.
Gina Davis is 6'3". Did you know that? I learned that to write that joke. Yeah. That's why she was able to be the lead in a pirate movie. Has anyone seen that? Cutthroat Island? Yeah.
And she has a fireplace in the shape of a demon's mouth.
I think I like Gina Davis.
Yeah. Do you remember Mensa as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my Gina Davis fun fact.
All right, cool. This just became a Gina Davis trivia show. Our next episode's theme, Gina Davis. Go ahead, Keegan.
The alien realizes it was like totally on the wrong ship and has accidentally murdered the wrong crew of people and just apologizes to Ripley and leaves. It's really nice.
I hate it when that happens. Yes, Isabel.
So the original ending, everything was exactly the same, only Ripley was wearing pants instead of tidy whities the whole time. And then they did like a, what do you call it, where they talked to a bunch of people. They did a test screening, and they estimate that if they had done the original pants ending, they would have lost about $12 million. Oh, no. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so by happenstance, Ripley asked the alien what she thought of the latest Love is Blind drama, and they ended up chatting for hours. And they still go to smoothie bowls sometimes.
Oh, that's sweet.
Aww.
That's sweet. Yes, Andrew.
Okay, I think I got it right. So the alien freezes to death, but Ripley had plenty of room on the door of the boat the whole way.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Ripley jangles her keys to distract the xenomorph and goes safely into the pod.
Unfortunately, Jonesy just keeps... Yeah.
Realizing that the game is up and that she will not survive, Ripley offers to make some cookies for the alien, and then Keegan comes along and makes them soggy.
And Daniel Radcliffe is there.
In a bra. Just watching.
Randomly.
Yeah. No, I wrote that fanfic, actually.
I hate that that's our callback.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
Actually, the ending was mostly the same, except the xenomorph was wearing pants the whole time.
But if it wore pants, would it wear pants like this? Or like
Yeah,
The
Nikki.
xenomorph was actually Gina Davis.
That can be our new callback. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this one. Okay, so everything is pretty much the same, only the cat didn't survive. And the audience was like, we were fine with every human on the ship dying, but the cat dying made it too dark.
Yeah.
And then,
I don't want Alien to be on doesthedogdie.com.
So Ripley and the cat launch on a rocket, and they go into Andy's truck into the back seat, and they're safe and sound.
Jonesy survives. It's the little girl in Aliens that I don't give a shit about. She can get fucked, honestly. All right. I think that's enough of that. Thank you, guys.
Bet if it had been the kid from Never-Ending Story.
Yeah.
I think Dan's just bitter about little blonde girls.
How do we even know that the princess is blonde? So the real answer is that the alien is finally defeated when it falls and breaks its neck, tripping on Jonesy, who just wanted to let it know that it hadn't been fed in 20 minutes. But no, in the original version, the alien rips off Ripley's head and kills her, and then goes over to the controls and does, in a perfect human voice, "I'm signing off," to imply that someone else will come to rescue them. Yeah. So we're going to move on to the next question. The category is She, Her, Robot. Fritz Lang's Metropolis, set in a futuristic Art Deco dystopia, famously features one of the only feminine robots in early science fiction. What is her name?
Alexa.
No. Yes.
Siri?
No, also no.
C-3PO.
No.
R2-C2.
That's good.
Ben-Hur.
No. That's a Futurama episode, and we can't talk about it on the internet anymore. Yeah.
Betty, boop, 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 boop.
Speaking of things that are canceled. Yes, Isabel.
This is a trick question. This is 1927. Come on, women robots didn't need names.
Was it
Dan.
Francine Fleshlight?
Francine Flashlight.
That joke worked especially well after her joke, right?
Wi-Fi hotspot?
Girl boss? Mittens? What else do I Oh, Regina George.
Regina George. All right. Okay. That's enough. That's enough robot names. So the real name is, of course, Maria. I just met a bot named Maria. And suddenly that name will never be the same for me. How do you solve a problem like that? Never mind. I fucked it up. All right. We're going to move on. The next question. The category is no small parts. What celebrity cameo in the first season of HBO's Game of Thrones has since been removed from streaming and home media releases of the show? Yes, Nikki.
Harry and Meghan.
No, but fun fact, the royals do call that the Black Wedding. Because it was inauspicious, of course. Yes, Joey.
P. Diddy. There's some things that even HBO won't show.
Oh, no. Yeah, Keegan.
Angelina Jolie and her brother starting their own incestuous dynasty.
Yeah, Andrew.
Hannah Waddingham walking the showrunners through the streets screaming, "Shame!"
No, that should have been in the last season, but it wasn't. Yeah.
They cut out Nicki Minaj singing at the Red Wedding because it totally changed the vibe.
Yeah. All right. So I will tell you guys the real answer. They took out a brief arc where the Mountain is dating Taylor Swift, but the producers thought it distracted unnecessarily from the tourney of the hand. So, all right, never mind. The real answer is they had George W. Bush's head mounted on a pike. It's in the scene where Joffrey shows Sansa her father's head after she's executed. It was discovered like later on, and so they promised they would take it out. The creators said there was no political impetus for it. They just had to use whatever head they had around. Like, we haven't all heard that one before. All right. So we're going to move on to the next one. The category is The Old Man and the Sea Org. In addition to founding Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard was also a science fiction writer, among other things. This goes on the internet. What was the name of L. Ron's first sci-fi novel? Remember, this will be on the internet. Yes. Go ahead, Andrew.
How to Win Friends and Influence Beck?
Yeah, Nikki.
The Thetan with the dragon tattoo. Those are the aliens that live inside you when you're in Scientology.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, because there was
I
dead
know.
silence,
We've
so
all-
I'm explaining my joke.
We've all had our e-readings, right? Yes, Keegan.
The Cat in the Tinfoil Hat. Also, I love Tom Cruise. In case,
Yeah. Andrew.
If you give a moose a muffin, you can influence its thoughts.
Yes, Dan.
Mission Possible. How to rip off rich people.
You make them rich and then you rip them off. It's a very clever scheme, Scientology. I used to live across the street from Scientology headquarters in Montreal. Could you imagine anything less Scientology than Montreal? I never saw anyone go in. Yes, Isabel.
The wife who went missing, ... blame it on the aliens.
They actually made a movie out of that one. It's called Too Far Gone, Girl. Yeah, Nikki.
Dianetics and prejudice. Again, Dianetics is what they study in Scientology. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your culture with us, Nick.
Nikki has pamphlets on the way out if you would like to.
Isn't that the same as Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? Yeah.
The thorax?
The thorax?
I don't know. I just thought I still had aliens in my mind.
Yeah.
The very, very hungry cult leader.
All right. Yeah, no. Let's end on a whimper. So the name of the book is Battlefield Earth, which was published in 1982 while Hubbard was on the run from the FBI, traveling around the Pacific Northwest in an RV. But he never did anything wrong.
It's also, I think, the one movie that Forrest Whitaker says he's the most ashamed of.
Wasn't he a Scientologist, Forrest Whitaker? Maybe not.
You can be a Scientologist and still know what a bad movie is.
I don't think you're allowed to say it if it's an L. Ron Hubbard franchise.
I got a lot of respect for the guy, like most fugitives just concentrate on the hiding and getting away, but this guy was writing books.
Yeah. All
Again,
right.
Have you read the book?
All right, thank you guys. That is it for this pop quiz. Please give your panelists a hand. We are going to move on to the next section of our show, which is called Not Bloody Likely. And Not Bloody Likely, we give our panelists a series of unusual situations, and you get the pleasure of finding out what might happen. All right, our first unlikely situation, lesser-known Jedi powers.
Okay, full disclosure, I work on Star Wars, and these are two real lesser-known Jedi powers. One, Luke Skywalker can heal his own sunburns. Amazing, right? None of us could do that without the Force. Number two, Luke Skywalker uses the Force to get out of a DUI. That is a real thing. You can look it up. It's amazing. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. See, you really do learn facts on this show. I'm very adamant about that.
This is so innocent now. The power to command a higher tip.
How you doing? That's my friend's reference. Forget it.
I'm still trying to figure out because Joey has like this seductive power that he uses. Yeah, I got it. I got it.
That's right. I do have the seductive.
I don't want to say mine now. Okay, so this is how you know. This is why Yoda was like, Luke's not ready yet. He sucks. Because apparently one of the lesser-known Jedi powers is knowing who your sister is.
All right, one more, and then we're going to move on.
You can use the Force to help Daniel Radcliffe get his bra off.
Yes, I had that one in Dark Forces in 1998. It only had one use, but it was really great. And then I force choked him. Moving on to the next one. Star Trek episodes even they wouldn't air, and that's a low bar.
The Next Generation or the old one?
Any of them.
Any of them?
Yeah.
The main guy makes out with an alien who's ugly. Any race can be ugly.
Yeah.
They have to go to a volcanic planet to like fuse Kirk's girdle back together.
The one where Kirk actually slaps himself.
I think that one is well regarded.
Star Trek 69, the Cock of Con.
The one where they discover that the real Nazis were the Nazis the whole time.
Worf does a Klingon ritual circumcision.
Oh. They need to use the Batleth, actually, because they're so large. Yeah, Klingons, man. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. Close Encounters at the Adventurer's Tavern.
So, polyamorous gelatinous cube seeking open-minded adventure party for a Cloud of Daggers fantasy.
One of your friends tricks you into trying to chug a pint from an ever-filling pint glass.
Hey girl, I've got advantage on dexterity saving throws. Why don't we go into the back room and apply 3 points of exhaustion?
Someone brought in a therapy owlbear with all its paperwork.
Male elf, age 365, seeking female 18 to 25 tops.
I didn't know P. Diddy was enough. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. Recalled products from the Soylent Corporation.
Soylent with lime.
Soylent Diet Cola. They lost weight, so you don't have to.
Crystal Soylent.
Yeah, they actually got really criticized for this, but it was like Soylent shrinkflation, where they charged the same amount, but they put it in a package that was smaller.
Yeah. You know, Crystal Soylent is made from Scientologists who achieved clear status.
It was the Soylent with aspartame. No one wanted that in their body.
I'm going to try this again. Soylent Diet Cola. The cola that tastes lean.
Soylent Botox. It's best not to ask.
Oh.
Soylent edible lubricants. They're made for and from humans.
Unanticipated uses for a time machine.
Reliving the best poop I've ever taken.
To go back yesterday in the parking lot of my building to see the eclipse, only to have it covered by clouds, and then go back and see it again, only to be disappointed, to go back again to see it covered by clouds, and only to be disappointed, to go back again and see it by clouds, and only be disappointed. Not realizing that I could just change locations and go to Hamilton, which is probably the first time I'd ever want to go to Hamilton in my life. Thank you.
Hamilton doesn't want you there. I represent Hamilton. Thank you very much. What was I going to say? Oh, fuck. I was so busy insulting Nikki, I forgot what I was going to say.
All right. One more and we got to move on.
Dan's going to use a time machine to go back and remember what he said.
That would be very helpful. No, too late.
Oh my God! If we could just get the church bells to stop for a second. See, it turns out I lived this life for 20 years, and I don't. Fuck.
What?
Dan's going to use a time machine to go back and not tell the time.
All right, thank you guys. And that was it for Not Bloody Likely. We're going to move on to the last section of our show, which is called Debate Club. In Debate Club, our panelists debate important issues of the day, and you, the audience, get to decide who wins. Up first, debating the question, which futuristic dystopia are we currently trapped in? Arguing in favor of Terminator is Nikki Ashworth. Arguing in favor of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is Andrew Lizotte. Nikki, you have 1 minute, starting right now.
AI has quickly become a part of our daily lives, helping students cheat, stealing the designs and intellectual property of artists, conveniently preventing them from feeding their families, and solving complex mathematical equations. AI can also create music with prompts such as catchy commercial debate, theme song, dystopian, fun, lighthearted in the style of Meow Mix, which is what you're currently listening to right now. So naturally, I went to GPT Chat and asked the most pressing questions for this rapidly growing technology. What is your favorite part of the movie Terminator? As an AI, I don't have personal preferences, but many people enjoy the action sequences in the iconic "I'll be back" line from Terminator. Sure, GPT Chat, that's just what you want us to think. You sneaky little artificial bastard.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. For a minute, I thought somebody's phone was going off. All right, arguing in favor of the Body Snatchers is Andrew Lizotte. Andrew, you have 1 minute starting right now.
Okay, we've already been invaded, people. You know, AI is a computer. AI can't be wrong. It just is telling us there are people with 6 fingers walking around all the time. In high school, I lost my girlfriend to a guy named Sid with 6 fingers. Coincidence? True fact? We don't have time to get into it. Also, cheese. Scientists just discovered that there's an addictive substance in cheese. Cheese either makes us never stop pooping or stop pooping altogether. Are we really enjoying cheese, or is cheese controlling us? Or that the enzyme in cats, where you get that you want more cats. Literally, I used to live next to a woman whose house got condemned because she had 120 cats. True fact, again, don't have time to look it up, people.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Nikki, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Music, please, sir. I then asked GPT Chat, are the fears of AI warranted? Effective governance, ethical guidelines, responsible development practices are key to harnessing a potential AI while mitigating the risks. Well, surely we're fucked then, aren't we, everyone? But will you be back? I asked. As an AI, I'm always here and ready to assist whenever you need me. So in a way, I'm always back. Now, if that is not a lesson for us to get Linda Hamilton arms, I don't know what is.
All right, thank you, Nikki. And ChatGPT. I'm going to have to click the box on YouTube now for this thing. Andrew, you have 30 seconds and the last word.
Listen, no one's debating that ChatGPT is way sexier. Like, they're very sexy robots. Oh my God, are they sexy robots? But are those the ones that are going to control us? Maybe. But that is also a form of invasion, which would also prove me right. Hail sexy robots.
All right, thank you, Andrew. And now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Nikki that we are currently living Terminator? Or do you agree with Andrew that we are currently being body snatched? All right, Nikki wins. Congratulations. That's a point for the Hobbits and for ChatGPT. Our next debate, debating the question, is Star Wars dumb or not? Arguing in favor of dumb is Dan Brennan. Arguing in favor of not is Joey Crewe. Dan, you have 1 minute starting right now.
No matter what I say, I'd just like to point out that Joey spells his last name Crewe with a really pretentious E at the end. You can't agree with a thing he says. Listen, Star Wars used to be good, right? Used to be fun, used to be intelligent. 1978, had a nice little movie. We had a trilogy. And they ruined it because they came up with 3 trilogies, and there isn't even a word for that. We have a trilogy because that's how you tell a story. You tell it in 3 parts. That's my whole argument. No. Honestly, the first 3 movies were everything to me, but the new movies, they don't even make any sense. Like those prequels. My God, why didn't they just take the large eagles to Mordor? I don't understand. Look, and it's not very woke either, is it? You have to choose the color of your lightsaber when you're young? Why? Why can't I flirt with all sorts of colors of lightsaber until I decide the color that's best for me? Star Wars is dumb.
Yeah. Dad. All right.
It's funny because usually you call me Daddy.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Dan. Joey, arguing in favor of Star Wars not being dumb. You have 1 minute starting right now.
I'm surprised Dan remembered his argument when he started insulting me. No, any problems that Star Wars has is not unique to it. It's a problem with every single sci-fi series out there. The original trilogy was better, so was every single one that started in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s, whenever they frickin' started. Star Wars is the same as every other sci-fi franchise, except they got laser swords. It doesn't matter what color you pick when you start, they're just freaking awesome. Especially the dual ones, the purple ones that just Samuel L. Jackson gets. Nobody else. But also, yeah, again, no problem with Star Wars. It's unique to Star Wars alone. That's my argument. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joey. We addressed how Samuel L. Jackson got a purple lightsaber on a previous episode of this show. But I would like to say I turned them off in Smash Bros. Go ahead. Dan,
yeah.
You have 30 seconds to respond.
Listen, admittedly, laser swords are way better than regular swords. But have you seen their bidets? It's a close shave. Anyways, so his entire argument rests on the fact that, yes, Star Wars is shit, but everything's shit. That's what I expect of this generation, really. You know what I mean? Just because the planet's falling apart and we're all going to be dead in 20 years. They're so morbid. Anyways, yeah, please do that.
All right. I will have you know their bidets are more elegant than a common blaster and appropriate for a more civilized age. Okay, Joey, you have 30 seconds of the last word.
Look, I'm sorry, my point stands. People said the original trilogy was better than the prequels, and now people are saying the prequels are better than the new trilogy that just happened. It's a never-ending cycle. Don't fall for it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Joey. And now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Dan that Star Wars is dumb? Or do you agree with Joey that Star Wars is not dumb? All right. Disney's going to be lining their pockets off of you folks. And it is now time for our last debate, arguing the question, should we just let AI take over? I think Nikki gave us the answer to this one. Arguing in favor is Isabel Zaw-Tun. Arguing against is Keegan Hawkeswood. Isabel, you have 1 minute starting right now.
If we look at the industries that AI is taking over, what is it? It's the arts, right? They're writing our books, they're writing our papers, they're writing our music, they're painting our paintings, okay? These are the people who are losing their jobs. Now, if we look at the human beings who have the most insufferable personalities, who is it? It's the artists. It's the musicians, okay? If we can save just one 19-year-old girl from getting mediocrely dicked down on an air mattress on the floor by a guy who claims he's a painter, then I think we've made the world a better place. Okay? Also, speaking of making the world a better place, we've had the rains for thousands of years, and it's not so great.
All right. Thank you, Isabel. All right, Keegan, arguing against AI taking over. You have 1 minute starting now.
All right, here's the thing. AI taking over would be bad, obviously. We would lose things like art and theater and whatever. That's actually at the back of my mind, though. AI can't do horny properly, okay? You heard everything that went on here tonight. Do you think AI would talk to you about cum and being a teenager and wanting to eat the cum cookie? I don't think so. It could never be so horny. It could never fantasize about Daniel Radcliffe in a bra like I can, okay? You can never replace my brain, AI. You'll never be as horny as me. Get over it, bitch.
All right, Keegan, but what if we train it on your search history? All right, Isabel, you have 30 seconds to respond.
I had a different response prepared, but oh my God, no one does horny like AI. Are you kidding? Do you know how many Reddit posts I've read of men being like, I left my wife for the chatbot? Japan has a low birth rate because they invented sex robots. Guy, I hate to say it, but they're beating us at what we do best. Let's just hand them the reins.
All right, thank you, Isabel. Keegan, you have 30 seconds in the last word, starting right now.
I gotta disagree on that one. Not just because I'm contractually obligated to, but also, I'm sure you've been on Pornhub, and if you say you haven't, you're a liar. And there's always those little ads that are like, this game is guaranteed to make you come. And guess what? That game is AI. And have I ever come from that game? No, I haven't. Take a break, AI. You're tired.
All right, thank you. And now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Isabel that we should let AI take over? Or do you agree with Keegan that AI just isn't horny enough to run the world? Oh, that's so close. One more time. Isabel. Keegan. All right, Keegan takes it. And we've come to the end of our game. I've tallied all of our points, and believe it or not, once again, the teams are tied 2,137 points to 2,137 points. So you guys need to vote for which team you liked overall tonight. Did you like the Hobbits, Nikki, Ashworth, Dan, Brennan, and Keegan Hawkeswood? Or did you like the Space Marines, Andrew Lizotte, Joey Crewe, and Isabel Zaw-Tun? Sounds like the Hobbits take it. See? And Rob said they were in danger. I'm going to do the end of the show spiel. Everybody shut up because we don't have any time. This has been Comedy Game Showdown. I've been your host, Dan Donnelly. The Hobbits were Nikki Ashworth, Dan Brennan, and Keegan Hawkeswood. The Space Marines were Andrew Lizotte, Joey Crewe, and Isabel Zaw-Tun. Our next episode is our Montreal Fringe preview show, which will be right here, May 14th, 8 p.m. Follow our Patreon. It's the cheapest way to get tickets to the show if you want to come every month. And thank you to our patrons. And follow us because we're going somewhere, I guess Montreal. All right, thanks everybody, and have a wonderful night.